that they would find, for example, 50 festivals in Europe in the course of 1 year, and there would be a European day within those events where there would be a genuine communication in small groups, in various languages, with artists and practitioners. I'm not saying that's necessarily what should happen, but I'm just saying that it would be really good if at various stages during these 2 days we explore the barriers that are thrown up by events like these 2 days, as well as the positive things that I'm sure will come out of it. And I don't mean to in any way be completely negative about this. I'm a great supporter of what they're trying to do, and that's my job, and I do it, I hope, very well. But I do think that we need to ask some questions that maybe say, do we have to fall back on this sort of dialogue as the only way in which the Commission can communicate with real artists and real creative practitioners?
Thank you. Really a very powerful contribution. I must say, sort of, from as an individual, my response so far has been 2 things. I'm an unusual sort of creative entrepreneur in the sense that I do move in policy circles, but I found large parts of the plenary session completely unintelligible this morning. Secondly, that even in my own business, where I'm supposedly the chief creative officer, I always find myself out of touch with the people at the leading edge doing the exciting things. And so I find that remarkably challenging and wonderful, and I would want more of those opportunities if I had time in my life. So if there are other ideas on how we could integrate a genuine dialogue, then I'm sure we can feed them in.
My name is Peter Smit. I work for Buma Cultuur, and I organize Eurosonic, a festival about European music. And I want to add something in respect to artists and festivals. What I find very interesting, and it makes sense to discuss during this forum, is about the circulation of European artists in Europe and the share that they get from the money that is being paid by consumers to cultural products. If you look at, you mentioned broadcasters. Broadcasters broadcast a lot of cultural products. How many of these products are European products, and how easy is it for artists to travel throughout Europe? In the framework that I am working in pop music, popular music, it is extremely difficult for artists to work throughout Europe. The frontiers are really existing, and I think within the framework of developing a cultural industry sector in Europe, it is extremely difficult to look at this, because the European market is a very big market, but so far very hard accessible for European artists in this framework. So I would really say we need a specific program for this sector to develop this, because there's an enormous potential, and then we don't need so much subsidies and things like that, because we have access to the market here.
And so would you say that this is a cross-cutting theme, therefore, that we don't just sort of put that theme into promoting intercultural diversity or dialogue, and we say it's a key part of the creative economy argument as well? Is that what you're saying?
Sorry, I don't understand what you're saying.
It's tempting to say, well, actually, artists circulating around Europe, that's a kind of intercultural dialogue problem. And what I heard you say was, well, it is an intercultural dialogue problem, but it becomes a big commercial problem too as a result. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's a big commercial problem. It's a problem because you don't have access to a market, which we all agreed we would have, a European market.
Yep.
And as an artist, you don't have access to it because of several items. And if we can get rid of obstacles and have programs to stimulate this, the European market is a bigger market than the US market.
Sure.
And I think for popular music, it's quite the same situation as we've seen with film and cinema, where there are specific programs. And for music, which is, of course, something which is, music is more and more consumed. People use more and more music. It's something from a young generation, and it has to do also with people are interested to hear what sort of sounds are made in the several countries. If you don't hear the music that your neighbors are making, how do you make real contact with these people?
So
it's also a question of diversity and hear what is happening throughout the whole of Europe.
So to just push against your argument slightly, wouldn't the internet help us do that? Wouldn't the internet help us find music we were interested in and find communities of interest that helped us find that music? And if it isn't doing that well enough, is that one area where you would concentrate activity?
Of course, internet is helping in a sense, but I mean it's the mass media and the structuring of companies and pipelines who decide which. It's also about who is making the money. I mean, of course, on internet you can find all kinds of things, but the wide audience and the people who buy products will buy the items that are available. So I think there is, if you look at most of the European markets for music, most of the markets are totally dominated by American product, varying from market to market from, I would say, 80 till 50% of the market, which is, I think, quite big.